in the driver's seat,
exactly.
right? Because for some of us, we're in the passenger seat, some in the back seat, some in the trunk. And we're letting life drive. Exactly. We're letting other people drive. We're letting circumstances and situations drive. And it's like, no, get out of my seat, get out of my chair. Let me get back in the driver's seat and take control of my life.
Yeah.
Because your life is the result of your decisions.
We had gone to London, myself and my children, we had gone to London. We live in Nottingham, outside of London. And we had gone to London for the summer holiday. But I bought a dress at George, which is Asda. The clothing side is George, for those who are listening, watching in and don't know. And then we had gone to London and we had gone to Blue Water. Blue Water is a very big shop in London. And they have all the high-end shops in there. And we had walked into House of Fraser. I wanted to get perfume from there, but the thing is, usually the stock in those big shops in London, we don't tend to have them in the smaller towns or cities. So you may get something nicer at House of Fraser in London, but you will not have it in Nottingham. So when we went to London, I said, let me go to House of Fraser and see if I can get this perfume. As I walked in, a lady walked by and said, oh, you look beautiful. Where did you get that dress from? I saw just a similar one in there. And I should have probably just said, oh yeah, I got it in there. But I said, oh, this is from Asda, George. She looked at me like, oh, I see, and walked away. But the thing is the same thing in House of Fraser. And this dress, I've worn it 3 times every summer. I wear it. This is the 3rd time I'm wearing it for the summer period. So it's good quality. If you ask me, it's good quality. I did not go and check the one in House of Fraser, but the one I have, I still use it. It still looks white. It's a white lace dress. It looks white because it's been kept well. So I totally agree with you. You can still look good, but on a budget. It depends on what you buy and how you wear it. That's another thing, how you wear it to make it look expensive, but it's not.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then wearing it with confidence, right? Wearing it like, wow, like I'm really excited, and I'm me and happy and all of that. That confidence that you radiate also has an impact on, on how people perceive it as well.
Wow. How can we avoid letting others' expectations of us create personal insecurities? Now, this one I'm very interested in hearing what you have to say about.
So for example, like I mentioned earlier that I'm 6'7", right? So I'm very tall. And so, Sheila, if I had a nickel for everybody who asked me, hey, do you play basketball? You're a basketball player, aren't you? Like, I get that question every single day. And so, there was a lot of pressure on me when I was younger to pursue basketball, but basketball was not a passion of mine. I mean, it was okay if we played, cool. If I didn't, I was fine with that too. But I had to become comfortable in my own skin and true to myself, and not to a box that other people wanted to put me in. And oftentimes we live life based on other people's expectations, whether it's what our parents expect from us, whether it's what a boss expects from us, friends expect from us, and it's like, no, be true to you. That's the only way you will find fulfillment and happiness. Is you've got to be true to yourself, and not allow people to try to force you into a box that you just don't fit in. And it's okay to say, no, thank you, or that's not for me, or that's not something that I'm interested in, or I no longer want to do that, right? Taking your power back, right? And really standing up for yourself and speaking up for yourself and owning your truth. Because if not, you'll live a confined life that you didn't have to live if you took the courage to say, you know what, that's just not for me. I would be suffering in an engineering job. I know I would have made a lot of money, but I wouldn't have been happy.
Yeah.
Right? But because my guidance counselor at school thought that I would be great for engineering because I was good at math and science, I would be stuck in a career that wasn't fulfilling for me and that I was dreading going to work every day. But I had to say, hey, you know what? On second thought, engineering is not for me. And take my power back and make a different choice and a different decision. And I want to encourage your audience to, to own your power.
Exactly.
And to stand up and to speak up for yourself and don't allow other people's expectations to cause you to live a life that you're really not happy with.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Because Sheila, you only live one life.
Right? Yeah.
And time is flying. Like, we'll be in a new year in a few months. Like, you don't get this time back.
Exactly.
And so with the time that you have, choose in favor of yourself.
Exactly.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah. So
for those that are watching this podcast, those that are listening in, the question is, what do you really want?
Yeah.
What do you want for your life? What do you want for your future? And whatever it is, no matter how wild and crazy and big and audacious that it might be, it's possible.
Exactly.
But you gotta believe.
Exactly.
You gotta believe that the life of your dreams is possible.
Yeah.
And then you gotta get up and begin to do the things that will begin to bring that dream into a reality.
I like that.
But you can do it today. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally like that. I like that. How did early exposure to your gifts impact your life?
Yeah, I really believe, Sheila, that exposure is critical.
It is.
I remember as a young man, my brother, so we live in New Jersey. I am less than an hour from New York City, right? So New York is just a quick drive from where I live. And so as a teenager, my brother, who was older than me, he would take me to New York to these amazing department stores like Bloomingdale's and Saks Fifth Avenue and Barney's. They're the equivalent of Harrods. Harrods. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the equivalent of Harrods in London.
Yeah.
That's what these stores were in New York City. And it exposed me to fashion and style on a level that I had never experienced in my small town in New Jersey. Just like you were saying earlier, like there were some things that you had in London that you'd have in a smaller city. It's the same thing here, right? In my smaller hometown, we didn't have big department stores and high-end boutiques and stuff like that. But when I went to New York City, I was just exposed to these amazing clothing and accessories and all of those things, and it really created in me a passion for fashion. Right? And so now that I'm an adult and I have my own styling business and I style clients, whether they're entertainers or businessmen or pastors or entrepreneurs, the initial foundation and exposure to that came from my brother. And that's why I think it's so important that we expose young people to different options. Because if not, they'll do what they've always seen. And so as I travel, I talk a lot to young men, and in particular a lot of young men of color. And oftentimes when I ask them, okay, what do you want to do when you become an adult? Like, what would you want to do professionally? I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football player. I want to be a rapper. As if those were the only options that they have in life. And you have so many more options. I mean, you could be a financial broker. You can be a designer. You can be an author. You can be a judge. You can be an attorney. I mean, there's so many options. But when you're not exposed to that, like you don't even know that stuff exists.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we expose our children to as many different opportunities as possible, and then see what resonates with them, what inspires them, what causes that light to come on in their eyes. Like, wow, like I didn't even know that people got paid to do this, but I love it. Like, and so even when it came to styling, I was styling people. Like a woman would come to me and say, "Hey, listen, I just got engaged, and I'm looking for my dress, but can you please help my fiance, because I don't want him looking crazy on our wedding day." Or a guy would come to me and say, "Hey, listen, I got a bonus on my job, and I really want to elevate my style. Can you help me? Can you do some personal shopping for me? Can you style me?" And I was doing that stuff for free because I just loved doing it. I didn't know that styling was a career that people got paid for. But again, it goes back to exposure. And so that's why it's important for us to expose our young people to as much as we can. And then let me say this for adults as well. It's important for you to get exposure, for you to come out of your comfort zone, for you to stop going to work, coming home, going to see your relatives, going to church on Sunday. Like, and those things are cool, but do something different. Go out and see stuff different. Go to like you said, if you're from a small town, go to London. Look around. Go to events that you wouldn't necessarily go to under normal circumstances. Why? Because that exposure can really change your life. Meeting new people, different people, people of different ethnicities, people who make more money than you, people that do different things than you. I'm telling you, those conversations, those meetings, I really believe have the ability to change your life. But you got to get out of your comfort zone.
I totally agree. Let's talk about Tied to Greatness. That's your non-profit organization. What do you do, and what is it all about?
Yes. So as you know, style and image is important to me. And so actually 15 years ago, Tied to Greatness is now 15 years old, but 15 years ago, it was really, I know at least in the States, sagging jeans was really big for black boys. Where you could see their underwear and their jeans was hanging down and stuff like that. Oh, it drove me crazy. I'm like, no, pull up your jeans. And so, because I know that people are judging you based on how you look. So, walking into a store, looking like that, they're going to follow you around the store the whole time, thinking you about to steal something. Why? Because that's what you look like, you know. So, I really wanted to help our young men know the value of their image. And to really understand how presenting a polished image could really help them in their future. And so I organized a team of people that would help me, like my sister and a couple of other friends. And I said, hey, listen, I have a burden to really reach this next generation of young men. And I want to go into the high schools, and I want to conduct Tied to Greatness events where we'll go in, and I'm going to partner with men from the community. So I'm not going to go in by myself. I'm going to get men, local leaders, just local men from the community that just want to volunteer and want to support and help. So, we would have doctors and lawyers and business owners, local teachers, just men who said, you know what, I love and care for the young men in our community, and I'm willing to show up for them. And so I talked to the principals. They didn't know who I was. I wasn't Dr. Ellis at the time. I hadn't been on CNN, hadn't met Steve Harvey, like none of that. I'm just a guy who wanted to see change. and I wanted to help our young brothers. And so these principals, they took a chance on me, and they said, all right, we'll let you come. And so they gave me their male students for the afternoon. And so the boys thought that they were getting the afternoon off, kind of just hang out in the auditorium. And when they walked into the auditorium, it's an auditorium full of adult men who are there because they love them and they want to support them. And we would talk about image and how image impacts our different professions. We would let the young men know what the men in the audience did professionally. Okay, so you have this man over here. He owns he owns his own law firm. You have another man sitting next to him. He owns his own McDonald's. Another man here, he's a local councilman. Another man here, he's a local judge. And so it showed the young men all of these different professions that you could pursue. So you didn't limit yourself to athletics and to music. Like those were your only two options. And so then we culminate our time together teaching the young men how to tie a tie. And it was such an impactful experience because many of our young men were born to single parent situations, right? And so the man wasn't in the home, the father wasn't in the home. So like I learned how to tie a tie from my father, right? And so, but many of these young men, when their dad isn't in the home, they didn't have that same experience. So what we would do is, as a community of men, we say, we got you. And you don't have to have your mother tie your tie, or a teacher, or a coach, or your girlfriend tie your tie. No, we're going, as elders in the community, we're going to show you how to tie a tie. And it's just taken off like wildfire. My publicist at the time got me an interview with Steve Harvey on his morning show, and Steve loved the idea. He loved the concept of tie breaks because he knows, and when you see Steve Harvey, he's always dressed well. Why? Because he knows the importance and value of your image. And so, not only did he endorse Tied to Greatness, he also asked me to work with him and to partner with him with his mentoring camp. So he has a mentoring camp every summer.
I was going to ask you that because I knew he had something similar to that.
Yes. And so I come in every summer and I work with him and I handle the image part.
Okay.
So I teach the boys the importance of image and how you present yourself. And then we have a tie-tying ceremony at his camp. And so for the last 15 years, I've been doing that not only on my own with Tied to Greatness, but I've also been doing that with Steve's mentoring camp. And then Steve also partnered with Disney.
Oh, good.
With a program called the Disney Dreamers Academy. And so then I've been working with Steve with the Disney Dreamers Academy, where there are 100 students from across the country that get selected and they come to Disney, and we spend a week teaching them about dreaming and bringing their dreams to pass, and how do you move your dream from a dream to reality and all of that. So that I talk to the students there about image, and then we teach them how to tie ties there as well. And so it's just been an amazing journey. I mean, we've reached now, I think I stopped counting at about 15,000 young men that we've reached. And so it's been an absolutely amazing journey, and just to inspire another generation to really take their image seriously and really present the best of who they are to the world. And so, you can find more information about Tied to Greatness on my website, tiedtogreatness.org.
Okay.
And it's tied, like you tie a tie. TIED.
Okay.
TO greatness.org.
What will your final message be to our listeners as we wrap up?
So, final message I'll say is this: you get one life. One. And time is moving, but every day is filled with opportunities. It's filled, like, you can literally change your life whenever you decide to.
Exactly.
Right? So whether you're like, I'm overweight, I'm unhappy, you can, the minute you change your mind, you can change your life.
Yeah.
I'm on this dead end job. I hate what I'm doing. They're not paying me enough. There's no opportunities for me to, go to the next level or grow in my career being here. Change your mind, change your life. Like, you can start a new life whenever you choose to. And so I want to challenge your audience to not just let life happen to you.
Yeah.
Like, get back in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
Right? Because for some of us, we're in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Some in the back seat. Some in the trunk.
Yeah.
And we're letting life drive.
Exactly.
We're letting other people drive. We're letting circumstances and situations drive. And it's like, no, get out of my seat. Get out of my chair. Let me get back in the driver's seat and take control of my life.
Yeah.
Because your life is the result of your decisions. Right? But so I heard Bishop Jake say this recently. I thought it was such an amazing quote. He said, you were born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your choices.
Yeah.
Right? And so our lives are a result of the choices that we make. And so I want to encourage your audience to choose you. Choose you. Choose in favor of yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like how your life is going, let's get up and do something about it. And so and when you want to elevate your life, really elevate your brand. Like, your brand is your reputation. What do people get when they get you?
Yeah.
Right? Do they get mediocre? Do they get sort of, kind of average? Or do they get excellence?
Yeah.
Do they get someone that knows what they're talking about? Someone that's going to work hard? Someone that's going to go the distance? What do they get when they get you? So we want to make sure that they're getting the best of you, because that's what your customers and clients deserve, right? They deserve the best of what you bring to the table. Yeah. And so just make sure that every day you're bringing your whole self to, whether you're working on the job, whether you have your own business, let them see your whole self. Bring your whole self to the table and operate in excellence, because the world deserves what you've been gifted and graced with.
I totally agree. At this point, we'd like to say a massive thank you for coming on Podcast with Sheila today.
Pleasure is mine.
Great. If you've been listening in, this is season 2, episode 93 of our podcast series, where we bring seasoned guests with inspiring life experiences to share with us. Do not miss out on all these lovely stories. Subscribe to be notified when a new episode is released. Whilst at it, please drop us a rating. We have a video presentation of this episode on our YouTube channel. Just search for Podcast with Sheila on YouTube and you will find us. Our prayer for you this week is that you will come to a realization of branding yourself for the career you want and not for the job you have. Together, we will make the world a better place. Until we meet again, have a break.